Hi, everybody. Today I have on another one of my favorite t-shirts because it has, yes, a goat. And this one is a play on Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham. It says, I will read on a boat, I will read with a goat. I will read on a train, I will read in the rain. I will read with a fox, I will read in a box. I will read with a mouse, I will read in a house. I will read here or there, I will read anywhere. So I really like this shirt because it has two of my favorite things, goats and reading. Well, I was thinking this morning about a story that we can read in Numbers 22. And I was thinking about yesterday's talk that we had, and it was about kind of a weird and wonderful story from the Old Testament. This is another one. Now, it doesn't involve a goat, but it involves a donkey. So what are donkeys known for? Well, one thing, they're pretty stubborn. Another thing is that they will try to avoid danger anytime that they can, and they'll look and they'll think before they take the next step. And that's kind of why people will ride mules or donkeys to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, because they're very sure-footed. Well, in this story in Numbers 22, there's an Old Testament prophet named Balaam. And Balaam is going to Moab to tell the people there God's message. But God isn't happy that he's going to Moab because probably he's not going to say the right things. So on his way, he's riding on his donkey, and an angel steps out in front of them to stop them. And he has a big sword. Now, the thing is, though, that only the donkey can see the angel. So he takes a detour into a field, and Balaam then beats his donkey because he's gotten off of the main path. Well, now that donkey is going forward again, and he sees that angel again with his sword, and now they're in a field with a vineyard. And in this vineyard, there's walls on either side. So the donkey kind of moves over to the one side, and Balaam scrapes his leg against the wall, and he beats the donkey. Now the angel has moved to a place where he has them cornered, that the donkey can't go any more forward, or else this angel will kill Balaam. So what does he do? He just lays down. What does Balaam do? Of course, he beats his donkey. Now is when the donkey talks, and it asks Balaam what he's done to deserve these beatings. And Balaam says, well, you made me look like a fool, and I'd kill you now if I only had a sword. Notice that Balaam is not concerned at all that his donkey is talking to him. But the donkey asked if he's ever misbehaved before in all the years that Balaam has had him. And donkeys can live the 20, 35 years, so it's probably been a long time that he's been with Balaam. Well, of course, Balaam can't think of a time. That's when God opens Balaam's eyes that he can see this murderous angel. And the angel tells Balaam that the donkey saved his life, so why should he beat it? The angel knows that this donkey is innocent, and he would have let it live, but he'd have killed Balaam if he'd had the chance. So Balaam then says that he's going to go home if it displeases God for him to go to Moab. But the angel tells him, no, you can go, but you only can say what God wants you to say. So this donkey has saved him 3 times, and when he does, though, he's met with these beatings. He's met with a bad end. It reminded me of another story. There's a fun story about that we can see. I've heard it pretty often. It's a man in a flood, and he climbs up on his roof, and whenever he's there, the flood waters are getting higher. So someone comes by in a rowboat, and they say, jump in, we'll help you. And he says, nope, I'm depending on God. I'm fine. So the waters are getting a little higher, and the next person comes by in a motorboat. And he shouts up, jump down here into my boat. The water's getting higher. I can help you. The man says, no, I'm dependent on God. I have faith in God. Next thing, the waters are really high, almost to the top of his roof, and a helicopter comes by and says, I'll throw down a rope ladder for you. Climb up into my helicopter. We'll save you. And the man says, no, I have faith in God. God will help me. Next thing, the water comes up over the roof. The man drowns. He gets to heaven and he says to God, why didn't you help me? I had faith. Why didn't you save me? And God says, I sent you the rowboat, the motorboat, and a helicopter. What more could I have done? What more did you want? Well, there's a similar story I saw on Facebook this week. There's a man lying in a hospital bed asking God why God didn't save him from the coronavirus because he had prayed. And God says, I sent you masks, hand sanitizer, and social distancing. What more did you want? Well, as we continued in this time of pandemic, it gets harder to do those things. We're kind of getting worn out about those kind of things that we have to do. So we're kind of like Balaam in that we don't want to listen to our donkeys. I don't think they'd be like being called this, but our public officials, medical experts who tell us continue our ways to be safer are kind of like that donkey. I think God has given us these people to be our Balaam's donkeys, to protect us from what we would rather ignore or stop doing or just don't want to see anymore. So I'm encouraging you to keep up the good work of staying safe and also to keep praying that God will continue to show us the way through these days. So today, remember, wash your hands, hand sanitizer, wear your masks, stay in when you can. And I hope to see you soon.